Chat, here we go. Today, we are going to be watching Daniel's perspective in the RLCS from a series played earlier today against FaZe. Oh my goodness, Scrub. Scrub adding 1,800 viewers to the mix as we watch Daniel play. This RLCS event, this RLCS regional, has been Daniel's debut. By any chance, if you're watching this video or on this channel not knowing that Daniel is finally 15 years old and is playing in the RLCS, well, he is, and he was picked up by Space Station Gaming, playing alongside Reddles and Arsenal in the first winter regional this weekend. This game is from the final day. Nice arrow shot. And Power for the early lead. This is the second time playing FaZe. They're doing a new regional format in the winter regional instead of the Swiss like they did in the fall. And people seem less than stoked about it. And this is kind of an example of why they might not be stoked, because Space Station and FaZe had to play each other in pool play. And I remember watching it thinking, this is maybe a preview of the final. I would not be surprised if we ended up seeing Space Station and FaZe back in the final, even though they're in the same pool. And although it didn't end up working out that way, they did end up meeting each other in the losers final. So this is, one of these teams who loses here ends up being in third, whereas the winning team moves on to the grand finals to play NRG. So if you watched the video on our previous bonus channel, which we uploaded a couple days ago, we actually watched the Space Station game against FaZe from Daniel's perspective in the pool play. In that one, FaZe won. FaZe won in Game 5. This is a best of 7 and a different looking Space Station Gaming squad. This was specifically a nice series, I would say, from Daniel. And we talked about, or a lot of people talk about, Daniel playing that third man for this team. I think in this day 3 of RLCS, Daniel played everything. And I think you'll see as this series goes on, Daniel will move up, into the aggressive spots on the field more often. Right now, him and his squad up 3-0 instantly. They're coming off great gameplay. Was that today? I can't remember. All the days are blending together. But I think they are coming off of a win against version 1 that happened earlier in the day. A 4-1 win over version 1, or was it a sweep? No, it was a 4-0 sweep over version 1. So Space Station definitely feeling good. FaZe coming off of a loss in the grand final against NRG. So to start off, maybe a bit of momentum for Space Station. And they're capitalizing here. And we were talking about this a bit before the game started, but all of the Space Station squad running the same kit is like one of the first things I noticed when watching them today. I love it. People have been talking about whether or not teams should all have the same cars, like with their team's decal. And a lot of people say, oh, it's too hard to know who's who. I didn't have any issue with that at all. I just thought it was sick. I wouldn't mind, if every team did this. A minute 45 left to go. I don't expect to see Daniel getting too aggressive. It seemed like earlier parts of the RLCS, Daniel liked to start off games very defensive. And as they went on, he would bring out the aggression if needed. And if not, he'd camp out and really just, play the lead. Because Arsenal and Reddles played super, super well. This was coming off of a day 2 that Arsenal and Reddles were the duo. Wow, what a save. Did they both have that? Or was that just Daniel? Dodging the demo by going up the inside of the net and grabbing that save. I think they might have double saved it. I'm not sure who got credit for that one. But a crazy save. But as I was saying, day 2 was all Arsenal and Reddles up, passing to each other around the net. Reddles clearing out the goal line. In the event, I saw Reddles had 100 demos, which was #1 out of anybody. He played a little bit more games probably than some of the people who got knocked out early, but still, the 4th place player, which was First Killer, had 50. Reddles had 100. and the 4th place player had 50. So he was double the 4th place player. I think the other 2 people who were up there with him were Calm from version 1 had like 70, and I think Arsenal had even more than First Killer at like 60 something. So super, super aggressive gameplay from all of Space Station. Daniel, I think, was in the top 10 as well. He wasn't as high as his teammates, but definitely still really physical play from him. But most notably was certainly Reddles, who was constantly cleaning up and getting opportunities for his team. But this is game 1 of a best of 7. Space Station taking it with a perfectly clean slate. Game 2. From Daniel's perspective, we might have to jump all the way around to get this default camera bug to fix itself. Oh, wait. Did Daniel actually play with these camera settings? There's no way. There's no way. But we went on and off of his perspective, and he still has these. I can't believe that he played from this perspective, though. That would be truly insane. I'm gonna see if we can fix it after this typical shot that Daniel doesn't save. There's no way. Like, look at this. This is regular cam settings for basically everyone else. Oh, there we go. All right, we're out of it. Sorry about that. No way Daniel was playing with those previous camera settings. Daniel, huge lob. Bringing in the pressure midfield. I feel like watching Daniel live, he was very, very hesitant to ever get outpaced on a challenge. He always wanted to make sure that every touch of his was worth it and connected, to the point where it felt like at times he played a little bit too hesitant, but his squad in general doing super well. It's a great flip reset setup. Nobody challenging him up in the air, just waiting to see what happens, and Reddles able to sneak it under. The 2 FaZe defenders waiting and committing at the same time, and not a strong enough clear. It was a good setup, and they really can't let Daniel get to that spot. He'll put a good shot off the back wall if given time. That's a great shot and save, too. Arsenal seems to really like to cut rotation and play, that front man at all times or whenever he can, and he seems to do a really good job of it. That would have been a nasty redirect. An Ahmad redirect if he had nailed that one. This is where Daniel likes to be. He resets a lot on defense in ways that sometimes feel like, that's a great save, dude. FaZe absolutely needed a score there. And that was a nasty save. Daniel does seem to let the field open up a bit. Great 50. Probably First Killer's fault there. Needs to try and get basically any other 50 than shooting it straight out to midfield. So credit to Daniel for a nice setup. Reddles, his backflip. I don't think Daniel expected it. You saw him prepping into the corner, not realizing he was going to get a potential pass. Great early challenge on the flip reset. Daniel going high, making First Killer have to drop it underneath. And even if he didn't connect, his teammates probably having an easier time. But not really sure what happened there from Daniel's perspective. He got a little aggressive after the high challenge. By the time he turned around, his team was already scored on. If you go for the ball a lot, it goes to my teammates so they can clip. Yeah, dude, I mean, I like it. I've become such a big Space Station fan here. I just need a reason to follow a team. And, see, there's Arsenal again. Fighting up around the midfield. Daniel gets credited with the goal, but Arsenal does all the work as he fights against 2 defenders to drop it straight down. Daniel with open field. One last touch to pop it over the last 2 defenders. Man, that seems like a good opportunity. We have to see it from Arsenal's perspective, why the shot ended up coming off so soft, because both those defenders had missed. And any sort of touch with power was going to get it past them both. Daniel keeps finding all these opportunities to make these solo double touches. FaZe not able to prevent him from getting it to the backboard basically every time he finds himself in possession. 50 with typical high. Doesn't have boost. Arsenal needed this back corner, so likely going to see Daniel path over some pads here. FaZe not really getting a great opportunity. They had Space Station on the back line there, and Space Station able to stay alive long enough to reset. You see Daniel really not wanting to go in here. See, that to me right there is a great example of a situation where it seemed like, you know, it could be Daniel's turn there. If he wants to be the aggressor, he's got Arsenal back in his back half, but he pulls off of it very, very intentionally. I don't know if they're common about it, but they let Arsenal go in and do his thing, and it's working for them as a team. You know, as long as they react to that stuff fast enough, I don't see much of an issue with it. Daniel can be that backline guy. Not a great touch from Daniel, though. Daniel also not going to kickoffs, which follows the theme when they have an option. Nice double. Oh, yeah, I remember this shot. Sypical just didn't have faith. I think Sypical was the one camped underneath that. Did not head back to the net. Didn't realize Daniel was passing to himself off the ceiling. 4-3. I think we're at 1-0, right? This is game number 2. Space Station is up. We could maybe put that on a scoreboard, but we could probably remember. Daniel swinging wide, realizing he's got to cut. No reason to retreat in that situation. The Reynolds Arsenal duo. These Space Station guys always looking for each other upfield. And with the good reason, we've seen a lot of great passing play attempted. But that being said, FaZe scores on the counter. And that's what I was talking about. Daniel really far away from the play in a way that maybe makes it hard for him to challenge when he leaves Arsenal and Reynolds a little bit, you know, too far upfield. I believe this one gets tapped down, although it was a really close opportunity. Daniel hits it down. Shot off the backboard and away. Overtime in game 2. Dude, these kickoffs, I don't know what Space Station's hoping for with those kickoffs, if they're doing them intentionally, but that was not the only time that they kind of lost the kickoff directly to their back wall. I don't know what Daniel's hoping to do, where he's trying to put it, but it seems like it's a little bit dangerous getting it, you know, only a ball's length away from just going straight in the net. Daniel stealing a little bit of FaZe's boost, but you saw he had a teammate getting bumped in the back of the net. He knew he was going to need to help make the save no matter what happened. Arsenal, nice challenge to get this up to Dan. Dan bumped, prevented from getting a second touch. What a demo. Wow. One of Reynolds' 100 demos is just Reynolds flying from the ceiling and smashing into first killer, attempting to challenge that ball away from him. Daniel expecting to clear here. You see Arsenal putting in the pressure, forcing that touch to be too strong out to Daniel. And then Daniel immediately looking for a teammate. Good recognition of the double coming. And then Sypical just makes a big mistake. I remember that was a really good offensive chance, I would say, for FaZe. Had Daniel, you know, in an awkward position where the Space Station squad could have been easily exposed, but Sypical just taps it back towards the FaZe half. Daniel has these massive, massive clears, like resets, to make sure that he's covering the net, regardless of how dangerous it seems based on the play. You know, he's just always respecting the fact that FaZe could turn it around in no time. Open field for Daniel this time. He keeps getting bumped after these first touches. Hasn't been able to follow him up. Sypical going to get 2 touches in a row. So Daniel backs off it. This is what I'm talking about, where Daniel refuses to get outplayed on a challenge. He is always aware when he's either not going to have a chance or, you know, it's too risky. prefers to turn around and have a more guaranteed chance. Sypical left alone. Great recovery though from Sypical. Did not give Daniel any shot at all because that was a very, very crucial moment. Half of a game. We had 8 goals in regulation. Now we got almost 3 minutes of overtime without these guys scoring. Oh, that's not a great clear. They might have gotten away with one, but Reddles and Arsenal upfield. I think Arsenal's trying to look back down to Reddles, but couldn't find him. Nice slow play. Daniel over 2. Good recognition of the scene. Couldn't bump first killer, though. Sometimes, no matter how much you slow it down, no matter how many people you get it past, you don't get it past the entire team. The clear is going to be easy. Oh, I forgot this was how this game ended. I forgot how this game ended. I forgot how the overtime ended. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. This was classic. We have to watch it again. Yeah, I'm going to watch it from AJ's perspective because AJ basically owned goals here on that 50. Daniel gets credited with the goal. But what was AJ hoping for? Because he's aggressive on the back wall, trying to force this through Dan, and ends up just booming it in his own net. So he gets a soft... Oh, he couldn't even see him. He couldn't even see him. Wow. So this is a good first touch to get it past Reddles, right? He taps it off the sidewall. Dude, Daniel, he couldn't even see him. Watching from AJ's perspective, it's no surprise that he went for the 50 he did, because I literally couldn't even see his nameplate. Like, that is tough. Daniel, super pre-jump here. Wow, and actually intercepts it perfectly. Immediate to the ceiling on the first killer attempt. Great for a shot by Reddles, slightly wide. Daniel trying to chase down AJ. He's going to be forced into a 50 here. You see both these guys not wanting to be the first one to go because they're expecting to, essentially have whoever comes second to force it their way. So they're trying to camp out and not be the one to get it dunked past them. Arsenal is a great 50. Look at Arsenal bumping around in net. Classic space station. Anytime they get that scoring opportunity, they're trying to clear everybody out. This is Daniel right now. Back to his 1v1 roots, trying to outplay every single person one by one. But I'll be honest, man, this has been very eye-opening for me. I haven't watched too many, I think, third men players or like backline players in 3v3. But maybe this is like nice and standard. Daniel constantly hangs out very far away from the play. And it could just be that higher level, Rocket League, like pro level 3v3, everybody's so fast. It's not as far away from the play as it seems because everything is so quick. But certainly Daniel likes to reset back to that goal line regardless of the game situation. Daniel pop looking for Arsenal, probably going to back off because he doesn't have any boost to make a play. Let Reddles come in here, see what he can do. Daniel letting him get that touch on the back wall seems really dangerous. And now, yeah, his squad eventually gets scored on. And this is interesting to me. I wonder if Daniel felt like he couldn't get this first touch. I mean, if Daniel goes up the back wall here, can he get some kind of clear or challenge it as it comes off the wall? For whatever reason, though, he decides he can't do it. Either he can't get up there or he can't get it early enough, so he just rotates back to net. And then I think the subsequent scoring opportunity all comes from that hesitancy. Everybody's kind of in panic mode, and eventually they get scored on. I think that was the moment. Either he needed to already be in a position to get that touch, or he needed to try and get it, because without going to get it, his whole squad kind of put in like a last-ditch attempt to make saves, which maybe, you get away with sometimes. I mean, I think it was a really... It seemed like it was going to be a hard touch, but you can't let, you know, FaZe and First Killer. That's a great shot. Arsenal's so close to bumping First Killer, I think it was, and getting that tying goal. But you let First Killer get too many touches in a row around the net, he's going to create opportunities for his team. At game speed, it's a tough decision. Yeah, I think it also is reflective of how Daniel seems to be playing. Always seems to pick the safe option, which... Oh, that was so close. Reddle's almost getting a pinch back past that last defender. FaZe really does seem like a retreat, you know, recovery kind of defensive mindset. At times, it seems like the whole FaZe roster will be retreating and recovering in order to cover their net. And I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. Certainly not the way Space Station does it. We see Daniel not needing to recover very often. Oh, so much open field here. Daniel on the dribble. All of FaZe recovering to that back line together. You see again. One of them gets taken off, but all they needed was one good challenge to stay in it, and First Killer got that. I think Daniel has to come try and meet this, but nice patience. First Killer rushed it. Always getting these other players to make the rush wrong play. Oh, that needed to be something different. Whether communication about the fact that Arsenal's going to drop it down or call Arsenal off the ball. Daniel with the clear out. Coming down off the wall. And getting a demo is an interesting way to play defense here. He needed 100. Wow, he's playing super aggressive. Thought maybe if you could get one more. They are desperate for a goal right now with 10 seconds left to go. Why not get ultra aggressive? They have First Killer on retreat now. Reddle's stealing that one. Interesting. I felt like Daniel had an opportunity too. I wonder how they decided that Reddle should take it. Either way, that one hit the ground. FaZe get their first game after game 3. And so Space Station up 2-1. All right, game number 4. At this point, Space Station up 2-1 on Utopia Coliseum night. Once again, from Daniel's perspective. Sorry, chat, I'm not doing too much chatting. I want to get through the replays and talk about the gameplay at a decent pace, and then I'm down to chat all you guys want. First Killer trying to get into the bump game. Daniel just sits. First Killer didn't realize that there wasn't really a shot, so Daniel didn't need to panic. He could just kind of camp out. Daniel touch wide. Arsenal to Daniel, looking for the immediate double. Oh my goodness. Dude, this FaZe defense is insane, man. They just throw everybody at the net at the same time whenever it comes time to save a shot. But hey, it worked out this time. That was a great pre-flip into the net to stop Daniel. Daniel, nice outplay. Over 2. Reddles just needs to take that goal line. Oh, Reddles. So many demos, but he couldn't do it to his former teammate. Typical has seen that too many times. Oh, Daniel couldn't find the away from the play demo. Arsenal not going there. And I think FaZe had a bit of a miscommunication too. Gave an opportunity for Daniel to actually get there in time despite reacting so late. All right, a little bit of space and time. Daniel, Arsenal. Oh, you know what? This squad, it got saved. I think it was this series. They had one of the sickest full team passing plays, but I think it gets saved. And I think it's the FaZe series. It might have been the NRG series, but it was nasty. There's a chance it was saved by Justin in the NRG series, though. First killer, ISO play, saved off the back wall. Halfway through this game number 4. No goals for either team. Daniel waiting for the second touch from Sypical. Not a lot of boost for him. Probably not a lot of boost for the whole Space Station squad, as they've been back here about the back third of the blue half for a while. Nice bump, Daniel, on Arsenal. Reddle's taken off the map, but the smoke screen opens up an opportunity for Arsenal. I think if you guys watch the series, you know how this game goes. This was a special game. Arsenal, nice catch and flick. We do see a lot of the Space Station guys, especially on defense, when they're getting started and they're given any space at all, they'll all slow it down, try and get the flicker and outplay, get it past the last one. That's a good shot, but Sypical saves it away, and Sypical covering yet again. That would have been a great double from Arsenal. Sypical not letting his old squad get past him right now. Arsenal lob up to Reddles. Reddles just getting himself involved in the play. Almost got a good bounce down. Daniel with space. I think he just touches that too strong. Probably trying to cut it, set himself up for a second attempt. And here he's bumped off his line again. But he still gets a great pass. Daniel doesn't have the boost. You could tell he was trying to take a bit of an ISO play, but it came at him so hot. Didn't have enough boost to do it all alone. Interesting decision from Daniel to back off there and just let Reddles continue to put his pressure on, because it certainly seemed like a scary situation for Space Station. Reddles back passing. Doesn't really have any teammates there for it. But it's okay, because FaZe not on offense. Daniel, I think, delaying that touch off the back wall a little bit in order to make First Killer's challenge mistimed by slowing it down and making sure he gets the perfect touch. I think he makes the defender miss. And if you guys remember, this was the shot. A 0-second goal in Game 4 to put his squad up 3-1. And I had to go look at this because I saw a tweet about it. I saw a tweet about how close this shot was to not making it in. So I have to go see it for myself, because the replays got uploaded. We'll watch it real slow. 0 seconds. Great setup. Finds the bottom right corner. AJ, dude, reacted too fast. All right. How close? How close were we, chat? Reynolds had 15 demos in this game. Wait. It hit the ground. Did it not just go up in the air a little bit after hitting the ground? Did we not just see it hit the ground? Wait, it rolled. What? You guys see what I'm seeing? That's a bounce. It bounced. It's fully in though. But I don't think it can bounce. Oh my goodness. That was actually a scam. I can't believe it. Wait. I guess because it's fully in. Oh, that's crazy. That ball bounced. I didn't realize. Maybe there's a moment after it goes fully in that it can bounce. But dude, Daniel hacking. Yeah, he literally is otherworldly. Oh my goodness. They're cheating. They're cheating. I don't even know if I can be a Space Station fan anymore. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, Game 5. Wait, we're not on Daniel's perspective. That was our whole shtick today. Game 5. Daniel straight up hacking, we realized at the end of the last game. I saw a tweet about how close it was to the ground, and we basically saw what we just saw. But watching it live, it bounced. It legit bounces. I didn't realize it could bounce, but apparently that's a thing. It had crossed over the net completely, so it doesn't seem like it was, that much of a bug. But definitely bounced. Doesn't matter. Daniel cannot be stopped. Not even the ground at 0 seconds can stop Daniel. You don't see the exact game from a replay file. We see exactly what the server sees. Do we not? Or I guess the observer. No. We don't see exactly what the we see what the observer. I don't know what ping the observer had, but he must have had not perfect ping because that bounced. Yeah, maybe if you could get the replay from the server side, it would not have a bounce in it. I don't know. Daniel trying to pull off this to find a chance to challenge because AJ, wow, he gets away with one. But he didn't want to get a challenge that wouldn't win, especially as last back, which is a theme with Daniel. He refuses to kind of go for 50s that might not go his way. So instead, he backed all the way off into the corner to his detriment, I would argue, because he did that. The FaZe squad did get a really good shot. I mean, he saved it with a miraculous save, but you cannot just rely on miraculous saves in order to keep your team in it. Daniel, nice bump. Getting into the physical play. Technically a very aggressive player, but with his two teammates, he seems tame. Interesting challenge from the ceiling. Thought Cynical was going to take it higher. Had to drop down. But look at Space Station. They're very willing to slow it down when they have possession, not panicking. You see Reddles just taking it on top of his car. He'll let a 50 happen. Once again, no one pressuring the ball here for Daniel. He doesn't have a lot of boost. He knows he doesn't need to panic. Even though he doesn't win a great 50, he just buys so much time for the rest of the squad to be able to handle whatever ends up happening. He needs 100 pretty bad here. But I'm sure sticking with his patient playstyle, he's not going to go for this ball until First Killer finally gets some separation between himself and it. And it just works out that the boost also spawns as he sits and waits for it. Daniel, that was the first kind of rush touch on defense. Hitting it hard up to the FaZe team. Nice dodge of the demo and the slowdown and pop. At some point needs to get away from the ball though. Try and clean up some defenders likely. But here's this full retreat. Reddle is probably looking for a back pass if possible. Reddles and Arsenal both do a really good job cutting rotation. I mean, I think this is a really good fit, especially if this is the way Reddles and Arsenal want to play. Daniel seems to, you know, be the perfect kind of addition to a couple players who really love to turn, really love to put pressure, do a good job of it. You get too many of those together, and I think you get left out, but Daniel seems more than willing to watch the game from a farther away position, challenge only when the opportunity makes sense. See, look at Daniel, he just refuses to take 50s. Like, he doesn't want to come and meet AJ there because he's not sure he'll win it. And, you know, it's interesting because his team does eventually get scored on. So I don't know if it's a 50 he should take or not. But you see, he's coming to put pressure in. Reddles taps this down to the corner, and now he's got AJ. He could try and 50 him here, but he just won't do it. He never has this whole time we've been watching him. He wants to get a win guaranteed with every challenge he makes. So he decides to pull off this one. And then the bump on AJ means they get a great setup. And then after the demo, I mean, it's too late, right? You make that save, you don't 50 it well enough, and it's immediately followed up. So not always, you know, perfect to play that safe style. Maybe we just saw an example of when a challenge probably would have been better off than pulling off the ball. But the team dynamic, for the most part, working for Space Station. Here, Daniel is unafraid to challenge. And maybe because the clock is winding down. I mean, this is an exact situation that Daniel never, ever challenges previously in the series. So it has to be related to the fact that they need one right now. And they do get scored on. So, I mean, there's a good reason why he's not doing those challenges most of the time. But down 2, I believe Space Station end up losing this one. I think FaZe might score one more time right at the 0 second. Yep, that's what I remember. First killer, scoring a third. So 3-2 in favor of Space Station going into Game 6. Game 6. Daniel and the rest of Space Station looking good so far, have the lead. Looking to finish out the best of 7, and Arslan Reynolds, the duo, they'll strike first. That has been working for them all weekend long. The two of them grinding it out close outside the net. Tight angle shots like that. Great 150s. That's their MO. Daniel with the full retreat, even away from the 100 boost. He had the 100 boost midfield. He could have turned to grab it, but instead, he full retreated in. I think he just took a boost from Reynolds. Reynolds, who was headed to the back corner, would have been at the close back corner had Daniel not taken that from him. Instead, Reynolds had to go far, had a little bit of a late recovery. Daniel, that's a good steal. Just feathering a little bit of boost to make sure he stole the corner. Oh my goodness, Sipical. Sipical just drops it for Danny Boy. He's going to score that every time. Not a great touch from Sipical. Daniel wasn't even really thinking shot, but he saw the opportunity to get created. He can't pass that up. Reynolds out to the midfield. Daniel just doinking it as he sets up his retreat. Nice 50, but first going to be able to follow it up right away. Daniel might have been able to shoot that. Just slightly awkward. He had to fly up a little bit backwards to get the angle. If that was even, a car's length more in front of him, I think he just gets a really solid shot on net. Daniel, nice double flip reset. I can't believe FaZe waited so long to challenge him. Got to try and challenge him early before he uses that flip. He just creates the shot all by himself. Daniel, the wave dash cut, and he rolls it in to set it up 3-0. Reynolds, by the way, is also a big scorer. We were talking about Reynolds and his demos, but I think going into this match at least, Reynolds was leading North America in goals in the weekend as well. Chicago was tied with him, is what the announcers were saying. I haven't seen the final stats for goals scored, but Reynolds just aggressive, grabbing demos, grabbing goals. Of course, as I say that, he takes another defender away. Daniel just so patient here, past the midfield line, especially up 3-0. I think Daniel, when we watch him, plays the score line like he should, like anybody should. But you could tell his change in style that he is not able to get the save. Couldn't get the reads coming off of getting demoed. Probably needed to go out and pressure first, but he turned because he thought that first shot might have been online. But if he somehow could foresee that wasn't going to be an issue, definitely the right play. Creep up, challenge first killer much earlier on his shot. Daniel taken out. And a goal for FaZe. Where can you find the stats? Go to Octane GG. They have a lot of stats. Follow Direct on Twitter, and I see him post on Reddit. He's called the Rocket League statistician, I think, on Reddit. I don't know. He's always talking stats and stuff. I think he's definitely worth a follow of some kind if you're interested in stats. Seems like he keeps track of everything and usually points out some interesting ones. He was the one who tweeted out the demos and why I was able to know that these guys were so high in them over the weekend. Daniel, nice challenge. He has eaten up a few air dribbles from first killer. Back in his familiar spot though, past the half-field line. Nobody's pressuring him. He's not going to play it too fast, but no teammates there to finish off the play. Space Station up 1 with a minute 30 left to go. Just need to hold on to this lead. I like that FaZe is coming to demo Daniel more often. I think the way that Daniel is playing, he's actually seems like he's a bit susceptible to potential demos because he plays pretty stagnant when he's back as third man. But at the same time, you know, it's not really a time to be targeted for demos when your team is up on offense. Taking typical off the map. Full retreat. And once again, Daniel, as that last back, refuses to make a bad challenge. He's not going to risk getting flicked over. Instead, turns around and heads back. Oh, that's a nice demo. Is it open? That's in. Oh, it's crossbar down. I forgot. I thought it was in. I watched this very recently. But even then, I was convinced that that was a goal. Daniel's Doomsy stopped. 30 seconds. Space Station just needs to hold on. Daniel, you see, turning upfield, but never, ever, ever going to challenge unless he knows for sure he's going to connect. He's got teammates for that. Retals and Arsenal more than willing to take the risky midfield challenges in order to break up the play, which somebody does need to do. You can't all play the way that Daniel does, where you go only for the 100%, because it just gives too much space, too much opportunity to let the team set up whatever they want. But there it is. The ball hits the ground. The Daniel hype goes absolutely insane as Space Station send themselves to the grand final against NRG.